going to hear from Nestle's. We've got Tracy Cook, Senior VP of Marketing at Nestle's Canada, and we're going to have a chat. Tracy, there we go. Give Tracy a hand as she walks up. Thank you, Tracy. Now, I want to remind everybody we're going to have questions via Slido, so please enter your questions onto that or the NEO-sponsored Slido today. NEO Slido. Does that work for you? Sure. You're a branding person. And you were a copywriter at one time and a creative person, and now you're full-on marketing?
Yes, yeah.
So glad you're here for all this.
Pardon me?
I'm so glad you're here for all this.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
What do you think about what you've seen so far?
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes you think about things in a different way, which is always what you look for.
I know.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. It's nice getting everybody together again, which is absolutely terrific. Tell us a bit about your role, Tracy, in Nestle's.
I'm the CMO. I lead marketing, but at Nestle, our businesses line up to presidents, so I lead marketing as a function. And something we call the CME, so the Center of Marketing Excellence, which is made up of our media and comms team, our agency partnerships, tech partners, our CX team, which is our website, our call center, our e-business team, insights and analytics, and our commercialization team. It's a big team, sort of the intel inside marketing, yeah. And I've been with the company for 10 years.
Excellent. And it's such a wonderful but complicated landscape of opportunity for all of us. So how do you... Maybe who is your target audience, and through the plethora of marketing and media platforms and alternatives, what do you use to reach them?
Well, as a reminder, if you know Nestle, we're a house of brands, right? Sanpal, Perrier, Haagen-Dazs, Nescafé, Starbucks Grocery, Gerber. I mean, there's a whole health science business, so you can imagine that's, if we think about an audience-first approach, there are many different audiences there that we have to reach. So thinking about our audiences and our business objectives first, I mean, the usual suspects, we probably are spending 60% of our spend digitally or more. I think almost 70%. 70%.
70% digitally?
Almost 70%.
If that's not a testament to getting this out-of-home business more digital, I don't know what is, right?
We are buying digital out of home.
Excellent.
I can talk a little bit about that in a minute. Leaning in some partners like Pinterest, which I've been rooting for on the sidelines as a platform when we think about a safe internet. They're finally getting their measurement together. I don't know if there's anybody here. Amazon, we also have obviously a retail business. We don't have first-party data, but we have a big effort going on. So we built a CDP. So we're trying to fuel our own data because we're at a disadvantage because we don't have loyalty programs and things like that.
Would the retailers share data with you at all?
In interesting ways.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So full funnel. I mean, I don't even like to talk about a funnel or a journey because I think there isn't anything linear about the world today, and I think people sort of have their own journey, right? So I think, it's a complicated business. It's a complicated world we live in, so trying to sort through where we have to be, and it's where our people, where our humans are, and where we have to connect with them.
Yeah, and it needs expertise, like good marketing people like you to really seek them out, target, find them, and then close on them. In terms of the digital landscape, of course, there's so many new technologies coming about. I mean, AI. We've looked at QR, VR, AR in so many ways, cloud-based. Are you looking at some of those directions?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, anybody seen those graphs where they show all the MarTech? I think in 2011 there were 150 companies.
The Lumascapes?
Yeah, and the latest one that came out, it's like almost 11,100. So lots of long tail of startups and big heads of more established things, but I'm a bit of a tech geek. I think everybody's talking about our artificial intelligence and generative AI. I do think it's an efficiency tool. Anybody seen what Adobe has just launched with their plugin? Blew my mind with Photoshop. I think technology is going to move to more plugins, which is going to be really interesting. Yeah, I mean, everything from ratings and reviews, digital shelf, which is really important to our e-commerce business. There's a whole tech infrastructure to that that's really important for us to be where our consumers are. Yeah, we have a tech stack. We're always looking at that, looking at pilots, but I can call out a number of pieces of software or hardware, but it's really important to our business to be competitive. You have to be. Yeah.
Sure. And you're so retail focused. You mentioned e-commerce. I don't know if you've thought much, or there's a great opportunity in stores for retail media. I mean, once again, with Group M, a $100 billion business of retail media
RDM,
online.
yeah.
But now the ability to capture screens and put screens in and target, like we're all talking about today, is getting very exciting. Have you looked at some of that? I know Walgreens is putting screens in. Loblaw is looking at it.
Loblaws is, yeah. I think when we think about our retail partners, I mean, they sit on a wealth of first-party data, which is a great piece of competitive advantage. And the margins on that kind of business are much bigger than their other business, which is 2%. I think the margins on retail are 30 to 40%. So
Amazing.
They're all building. I know Walmart friends are here. And that's important for us to figure out where that fits. But that's the kind of thing, as a marketer, where do you spend a dollar? What's the most important place to spend a dollar? And I think for us, like in CPG, we're trying to think of this holistically. Generally, in the past, RDM has been part of our, our partnership with our retail partners, and trying to think of that as the whole ecosystem and where is the best place for us to spend a dollar. Those are hard decisions to make, so we look at data and measurement and all those things that help us make smarter decisions, but some of that is still TBD on return on investment, so I think the industry is going to get there, yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting for us too. One of our partner, Group M, did a website, The Store is a Medium, talking about this billions of eyeballs in stores around the world. Now we have an opportunity through digital screens to talk to them, which is very. And Walmart is a member of DPAA as well, so we're very excited about all that. We've talked through some of the challenges and opportunities. Any more of the challenges for Nestle marketing that we haven't covered that you'd like to indicate here?
I think in Canada we're luckily getting more diversity in our media offering. I think there's been a historic, unlike the U.S., more of a duopoly, and I think what's really important to us is diversification. That's not just to have diversification. We have to be where our consumers are, but really not to have an over-reliance on a platform, and just to make sure that we're able to actually continue to pilot and learn and be where our consumers are, not have an over-reliance on one or two ways to reach people. And I think, I'm a big fan of local news, and with Bill C-13, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what's happening, keeping an eye on that. And, just the challenges that happen every day, inflation and things like that are in the mind of our marketers, and how we can respond to that and be there for our consumers. Because we have a massive portfolio, as you can guess.
Sure.
And we've got lots of offerings for people, Canadians, yeah.
And they're mostly premium brands, so I guess you keep a close eye on inflation where you
pricing,
want to make sure.
You probably, as wherever everybody's a consumer here, understand that, and in the supply chain challenges we've come out of. And I think we're moving from, because we were pretty lucky, where we're sort of center of the store kind of products, being able to supply was sort of our goal, but now we're going to go back to the fundamentals of marketing and engagement and generating demand for our businesses moving forward. I think that's an exciting time for marketing.
Right, and it's so fascinating how many brands you have. And
yes.
It's got to be great. You must love your job. I mean, you could work on water one day, and chocolate one day.
You don't have brands like Kit Kat and Perrier. I mean, these are iconic.
Right.
Like long-lasting brands. So those are gifts for marketers to work on, and our partners who are really important to the job that we do every day.
Right.
Yeah.
And you work a lot with the brand managers in each one as well, and I guess they've got, I wonder if there's competition for your time in mind where they're all trying to grab a piece of you, and right?
Yes, that's for sure. But we have great, talented people at Nestle. It's an amazing organization. Learn something new every day.
You ever been to headquarters at all?
Yes, I was just there 2 weeks ago for marketing to the mothership in Vevey.
So for those of you that don't know, it's actually in Vevey, outside Geneva. It's this beautiful place.
It is beautiful.
And it's actually nestled on the lake. And I don't know if that was the origin of the name, but it's nestled in Nestle right there. It's a beautiful place.
The origin of the name is Henri Nestle, who was a pharmacist who came up with the first baby formula.
And was he French, German? I mean, Swiss, but he was French.
Henri.
Swiss,
Henri Nestle.
Henri Nestle.
Yeah.
Oui. Lovely.
Yes.
And he was originally, you said,
a pharmacist.
A chemist, a pharmacist.
Yeah, so the foundation of the company is based on infant formula.
So interesting.
Yeah.
And,
a lot of people don't know that.
Coca-Cola was, first produced by a pharmacy as well.
Yes,
early on.
That's right. That's
fascinating.
Right. Yeah, interesting.
You were there for 2 weeks?
Just for a week, for a marketing conference. So receive the
right?
tablets and what's happening in media and comms. And I think the other challenge too is media sufficiency, and dollars. Someone mentioned about the stupid brief from a client for $25,000 made me laugh my head off. I think everybody wants to feed their children, being their brands, and we have to make tough choices. And you need a certain level of spend to get a return. And you just want to spend, but you're sort of, excuse my language, pissing in the water. It doesn't really amount to anything. So I think we're trying to be a lot more rigorous about sufficiency. We spent actually the last 2 years talking about that and building a framework around that and what we can do, because it's really important.
Excellent. We're going to take some questions, so make sure you're putting your questions on Slido.
I had, because this is a digital out of home and out of home. You asked for some images.
Yes, please. We want to show some of the video.
If you're interested, so we did a big tease for Kit Kat. So we have a new format, traditionally a 4-finger bar or tablet, moving to Kit Kat Pops, which are small balls. So we did a teaser campaign, out of home, traditional out of home, and then a sustained campaign, which was out of home and digital. Haagen-Dazs as well, more proximity targeting and weather. Obviously, it's ice cream. And Aero actually did more proximity targeting around gas station. It's an impulse product, so that was really important to us. We have a couple of campaigns coming in the back half. So
I love the targeting.
Yeah, and I think for us, we've done MMMs. MMMs are directional. I think they're backwards looking, not forwards looking. So I think we can get overly reliant.
M&Ms are backward? No, I'm joking.
MMMs, yeah, sorry.
Mixed media.
We can get over reliant on those, but for us, out of home, not digital out of home, was really truly traditional. I think someone said that too. An awareness driver, and that's great, and it serves a part of the business and the objective. I think digital out of home has more of an opportunity to be an always-on tool in the toolkit because of the targeting, because of the measurement, and that's what we're looking at now too. So it's not an afterthought for us. We think about that holistically in our plans. So we're seeing that more on our plans.
That's a great quote, by the way, an always-on vehicle because of the targeting.
Yeah, and the measurement and the understanding, yeah.
Right, that's another good
back
posting.
to time and place and where consumers are and...
Right, oh, here's some of the executions?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. And you've got a good creative team, I imagine, as well, right?
We use agency partners, and we have an internal team. We have a content team, but, Courage, one of our big partners, we worked with Rethink on this campaign. We have some really good agency partners, and our media agency is Thrive.
Excellent.
Excellent partners.
I love it. Take a break from Kit Kat.
Yes, I know, provocative maybe,
Should we put any questions up, Ajay? Are there any Slido questions?
Anybody?
Let's see.
Oh, there's one over there.
Okay.
I'm not a media expert.
I've got a lean over here.
I have media experts on my team, so hopefully I can answer any questions.
Are some of your brands better suited for out of home?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think for a few reasons. One of the things that we learned through our MMM, like big news. I mean, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. New brand positioning, new packaging, new product. Big spenders like Kit Kat, Perrier, Haagen-Dazs makes a lot of sense for us. I think when we think about digital out-of-home and proximity targeting and things like that, it's a different conversation, but absolutely. And then we have the sufficiency in the budgets with those brands.
It's a great way to create a brand.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's part of the whole ecosystem. Another word that's important, but I'm allergic to, like digital, but whatever.
Excellent.
It's another overused word like omni and whatever. We kill ourselves with words sometimes.
Then in terms of other media, are there other media that you find are complementary with out-of-home?
Yeah.
Where out-of-home extends the reach, say, of other media?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we're using it in the plan, for sure. I think digital out-of-home is just allows that always on and that extension of the broader plan, which would be made up of, TikTok and Pinterest and, some Meta still, and yeah.
Good.
Yep.
We have a couple more questions.
Google, obviously, search.
How big a role does South Asian marketing play for Nestle? Interesting. Targeted.
Interesting. We have been looking at that. I think anybody who's in the business knows that 95% of our population last year was grown by immigration. It's really important.
Right.
We have that's one thing that's really great about Nestle is we have a global company with a portfolio from all over the world. So people come to Canada generally with an affinity for Nestle and our products. Not every product that we sell in Canada, we can't sell every product in Canada from everywhere in the world, but we actually are looking at that. And we've done specific communication for specific communities, for sure. But it's a great question. And there are brands that, like some of our infant formula portfolio. Coffee Mate, Nescafe is huge. I didn't show some of the campaign. We have actually had a campaign this year, How the World Says Coffee, because it literally is how the world says coffee. I think 5,700 cups of Nescafe are drunk every day across the world. And a lot of people that come into Canada, that's their coffee. It's not an instant coffee, it's their coffee. So we did a campaign around that, which was, really well received.
A lot of good questions here. One that came up was as the world moves to more, as we talked about earlier, in-store retail marketing, would Nestle's view that as above or below the line marketing? Maybe it's fungible at the moment. I wonder what your thoughts are.
The below the line, I like to think of like foundational brand equity and sort of moving to conversion. And I think hopefully you can do both, but at my global meeting, we were talking about looking at something like a 60-40 split. I know it sounds kind of arbitrary, but thinking about you can't, it is the long and the short of it, right? Yeah. Like you have to do bothism. Like there's no other way. And I don't like to think of it as lower funnel or firefighting or whatever. You kind of need both to have a healthy brand.
Right.
Yeah, you really do.
So in the in-store medium, that would be kind of the shelf space kind of monies as well as the brand advertising monies.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Good,
yeah.
That's a great question. Tracy, thank you so much.
Yeah,
great,
so nice.
Intelligent approach to all this. Really, indeed, a pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Wonderful.